6 years
Enjoy
of age.
these
You know what
next
that
few
means?
clips of
It means
Jimmy
the only
Carr's
way
best
I get to be
work.
described as young now is if I die. I think you know you're getting old. I was watching porn last week. I found myself thinking, that bed looks comfy. The worst thing about being told you've got Alzheimer's is it doesn't just happen the once. And I'll be telling that joke again later on. If I remember.
Pets. Who's got pets, yes? I can't have sex if the dog is looking at me. Those big eyes looking up as if to say, what are you doing? And that's why I didn't fuck a dog. We made love. Of head, people with red hair have 750 fewer friends than normal people. A lot, isn't it? Are there any redheads in? I think I'm all right if I look away.
Whose nickname is Shagger. You might think, that's pretty cool. She doesn't like it.
I recently read Great Expectations, and it wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be.
Do you get the super patronising warning from the waiter about the hot plate? Do you get that when you go out for a meal? Yeah. It arrives and the waiter goes, be careful, the plates are very hot. You think, yeah, I'm a grown-up, I think I can operate a plate. Also, I can't help but notice, Mr. patronising waiter, you just put it down with your hand. But it's too hot for my little fingers. I'll tell you what, Mr. patronising waiter, should we see if it's hot? Shall we? Ah! That's really hot. I don't want to be a dick, but you should have said. In the evening, let's try some easy jokes to start with, shall we? Good luck. I was in the south of France. I saw a brownie on a school trip. She was holding up a book. It said on the front, rough guide. I thought, yeah, she's not a looker. That's the easiest joke in the show. If you don't get that, you might as well fuck off now, mate. You may agree with this, you may not. Feminists say, a woman's work is never done. Maybe. They got themselves organised a little bit better. It's a bit of an icy stare you with me there, madam. What you've got to understand is that's postmodern misogyny. That joke is, in fact, steeped in irony. So don't you worry your pretty little head about it, love. A gig a couple of weeks ago, I got talking to a girl down the front and asked her where she was from. She said, I'm from outside Birmingham. I said, really? So am I. What part of Birmingham aren't you from? A scientific survey, it said that women can tell if a man wants a baby just by looking at the shape of his face. Presumably, if it's like this, that means he doesn't want a baby. And if it's like this, it means the conception will involve a turkey baster. Well, that was my gay face. Was that not clear enough? Fine, have it your way. Sorry, I'd like to apologise for that mime. I neglected the balls. Those serious relationship conversations the other week with my girlfriend where she sat me down and talked at me for about 6 hours. I hadn't realised until then that when a man says he is spoken for, that is quite literally what he means. She said to me, Jimmy, we're at a crossroads in our relationship. Down one road is hard work and commitment, but ultimately, happiness. And down the other road, well, the other road is a dead end. And I said, that's not a crossroads, that's a T-junction. Well, I'm glad you laughed. She went fucking mental. Away from home, I sometimes get lovesick. Well, they call it chlamydia. After the show, I have attractive women banging on my dressing room door, and sometimes I let them out. Are there any comedy groupies in here this evening? Any gag hags? Any chuckle fuckers? The only reason I ask is if any girls come up to me after the show looking for sex, I'm going to have to disappoint you. I mean, we can have sex. Just it will be quite disappointing. I wouldn't lie to you, it'd be like throwing a sausage up an alleyway. More information than some of... What, sorry? All right, Jimmy. What? What? What was that? You chipped in with something.
Go on, Jimmy.
You said, go on, Jimmy.
Yes.
Oh, right, ironically, slowing things down. You often do that, just stop people in the street and go, on with you, Dave. Oh, I just stopped you to tell you to continue. A bit of weight at the moment, so I'm eating porridge every day for breakfast. Does anyone else eat porridge for breakfast? Yeah. It's fucking boring, isn't it? I'm like 4 spoons in thinking, this is actually depressing. I wouldn't mind dying. I was so bereft of stimulus when I was eating my breakfast the other day, I read the box of porridge. It genuinely says on the box of porridge, no added colouring. I thought, but it's grey. What, do they think I think they might be adding extra grey? Is a problem for many men. Well, I say it's a problem for men. Mainly it's a problem for women. What do we care? We're asleep. Seaside recently, and I was thinking about rising sea levels. And this guy next to me was throwing stones into the water. I thought, that's not helping. If anything, you're making matters worse.
Show recently, I don't know if anyone's had this experience. I was at a show watching a band and standing just under the fire escape, watching a band play, pint on with a mate, relaxing, and a lady from the venue came up to us in the little waistcoat and the little name badge, came up and went, excuse me, you're going to have to move because if there's a fire, you're blocking the exit. I said, I tell you what, love, if there's a fire, I'll move.
Airport information desk. I said, how many airports are there in the world? She said, I don't know. I went up to the check-in desk. The girl said to me, window, seat or aisle? I said, window, seat or you're what? Are you threatening me? She said, no, calm down. Window, seat or aisle? I said, I'll have a seat. I bought one of those round-the-world air tickets, £1,200, amazing value. 37 hours later, I arrived back at Heathrow. Has gone mad. You can't say Siamese anymore, so I guess my cat is a conjoined twin. Speaking of hilarious birth defects... Did you all read about that little girl born in India with 8 limbs? Incredible. She was born into a Hindu family, so they thought she might be the reincarnation of a goddess. That or a spider. But the test for that is pretty simple. They just pop them in a bath and see if they can get out on their own.
Sunday papers, Birmingham. Do you all read the Sunday papers? I like the papers on a Sunday morning. I think it's a nice time to reflect on the last week and also to look ahead for the next week. We read the Sunday papers like the News of the World in bed, Sunday morning, a couple of weeks ago, tea, toast, Sunday papers. What could be nicer? What could be more British? Anyway, my girlfriend turns to me. There's some sex scandal in the News of the World, as there invariably is. And my girlfriend turned to me and went, I hope I never find out you're having an affair. I said, me too. Any Welsh people in? My God, we've got an army. Hello, the Welsh. Now, I've discovered the secret to the Welsh accent isn't so much a phrase, it's more a state of mind. To do a good Welsh accent, you've just got to sound confused. Whose coat is that jacket? He's fuck buddy. Have you all heard the phrase fuck buddy? Yes? I've got a friend that didn't know what that meant. I used it in a conversation and he didn't know what it meant. I had to explain what a fuck buddy was. I said, it's like a friend you have regular sex with. He said, well, how's that different from a normal relationship? I said, they're your friend. And you have regular sex with them. It's like the opposite of a normal relationship. I found out the hard way. There's a big difference between hanging out with a mate's girlfriend and hanging out of a mate's girlfriend. Annoyed by cold callers. You know, of an evening, you're at home relaxing after a hard day at work, watching TV, flicking through a magazine, the phone rings, it's a strange voice you don't recognise, talking about something you're not interested in. Oh, Mr. Jimmy, I have your baby now, you send money quick, you bad man. Fuck off. Do you get this? Do you get the public-private phone call problem? So this is when you're at work surrounded by colleagues or in the pub surrounded by friends, you get a phone call off your other half, and at the end of the phone call, they say something that you would normally say something back, like it's like your thing, but you don't want to say it because there's people around, it's a bit embarrassing. So at the end of the phone call goes, all right, bye. No, you know I do. No, there's people around. I don't want to. Well, don't be like that. All right, I'll say it. I want to choke you with my cock.